Good morning, welcome in Iron Q&A classes. Chapter number 5 from uh, Janapadhas to Empire. In the last chapter, we studied how later Vedic people started agriculture in the Ganga basin and settled down in permanent villages. In this chapter, we will discuss how increased agriculture activity, settled life lead to the rise of 16 Mahajanpads, large territories stayed in North India in 6th century BC. We will also uh, examine the factors which enabled Magad, one of these states, to defeat all others to rise to the status of an empire later under the Maurya. The Maurya period was one of the great economic and cultural progress. However, the Maurya Empire collapsed within 50 years of the death of Ashoka. We will analyze the factors responsible for the decline. This period, 6th century BC, is also known from the rise of many new religions like Buddhism and Jainism. We will looking at the factor responsible for the emergence of this religion and also inform you about their main doctrines. After this lesson, you will able to explain the material and social factor growth of agriculture and new social classes which become the basis for the rise of Mahajanpads and the new religion in the 6th century BC. Analyze the doctrine, uh, patronage, spread and impact of Buddhism and Jainism. Trace the growth of Indian polity from smaller state to empire and list the 16 Mahajanpads. Examine the role of Ashoka in the consolidation of the empire through his polity of Dhamma. Recognize the main feature administration, economy, society, and art under the Maurya and identify the cause of the decline of the Maurya Empire. The emergence of new religion in this period of the center of economic and political activity shifted from Haryana and western UP to eastern UP and Bihar, which had more rainfall and better fertility of land, as it was now easier to exploit the iron or resources of Bihar and adjoining religion. People started using more and more iron tools and plowshare to clear thick forest cover and cultivate the hard soil of the area. The evidence of the growth of agriculture comes from the archaeological and literally source of the period. In fact, plowshares dated to around 500 BC has been found from Jakhira in Eta district in western UP. Many other important pieces of evidences of the iron in this period come from Rajghat, uh, Kaushambi, Vaishali, and required at most care and several rounds of plowing. Expansion of agriculture resettled in improved food supply and helped in the development of the craft production trade and urban centers. The 6th century BC is known as an era of second urbanization in the Indian subcontinent after the decline of the Harappa towns. Urban center now emerge again after a gap of more than 1,000 years. However, this time town developed in the middle Ganga basin and not in the Indus plain. It is said that more that than 60 towns and cities such as uh, Patliputra, uh, Patli, Patliputra, Raja Rajgriha, Saraswati, Varanasi, Vaishali, Champa, Kaushambi, and Ujjaini developed begin between 600 and 300 BC. These cities became center of craft production and trade and were inhabited by a large number of uh, artisans and merchants. The goods produced by artisans like textiles, silk jewelry, uh, pottery, etc., were carried merchant to other towns. Varanasi was a major center of trade, uh, concealed from Magd, uh, connected with Saraswati with Kaushambi. Saraswati was also connected with Vaishali through Kapilavastu and Kushenara. Jataka stories tell us that traders traveled from Magd and Koshala, Mathura to textile. Mathura was the uh, transit point of the travel to Ujjain and coastal area of Gujarat also. Gujarat also the improvement in agriculture and development of trade, money, and urbanization had an impact of the society as well as India due to these changes. Traditional equality and brotherhood have way to inequality and social conflict. People wanted some kind of receive from new social uh, pro change problems like violences, uh, curiosity, theft, hatters, and falsehood. Therefore, when new religions such as Jainism and Buddhism praised the concept of peace. Uh, New religions such as Jainism and Buddhism praised the concept of peace and social equality. People welcomed it. These religions embrace that true happiness doesn't lie in material prosperity or performance or rituals, but in charity, fragility, non-violence, and good social conduct. Beside the title group who wanted better social position than what Brahmanas uh, gave them. Therefore, they prefer to patronize non-Vedic religion like Buddhism and Jainism through substantial donations. Buddhism and Jainism were not the only religion which challenged Brahmanical dominance. According to the Buddhism sources, more than 62 sects and philosophies flourished in the period. One of these sects was known as Ajivika, which was founded by Makhali Goshal. Ajivikas were very popular in Magad in the 3rd century BC, and Maurya kings donated several caves in the honor of the of Ajivika monks.
Doctrines of Jainism and Buddhism. Jainism. Vardhaman Mahavira is regarded as the founder of Jainism. He was born in 599 BC near Vaishali in Bihar. He was 24th and the last uh, Trikara of Jainism. Jainism believed that the main goal of human life is the purification of soul and attainment of nirvana, which means freedom from birth and death. This can be achieved not through rituals and sacrifices but by uh, pursuance of triranta and panchamvarta. Trirantra or three jewelers are right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct, which can lead liberation. Right conduct means observation of five great vows: ahimsa, don't commitment violence; satya, vachana, don't speak a lie; asteya, don't steal; brahmacharya, don't not indulge in sexual act; and aprugraha, don't acquire property. Household were expected to observe murder from of the practice of these virtual called anuvartha, small vows. In a comparison to the monk, so one can notice that while the Brahmanism was a ritual oriented religion, this new faith was conducted or oriented. The most designing feature of Jainism was the concept of Anikantavada or Shadavanda. It means that the truth can be viewed from aneka or various angles. Another important feature of Jainism was its emphasis on extreme form of opulence or authority and street non-violence. Perhaps emphasis on strict discipline was one of the reasons why it could not attract the masses in large number. Mahavira used Prakrit language to spread his message. However, just like other religion, Jainism also could not remain united for very long and later divided into two sects called the Digambara, who means snagged, and Shavetambara, who wear the cross. Buddhism. The founder of Buddhism was Gautam Buddha, who was born in 566 BC at Lumbini, located in the foothills of Nepal. One night he left his uh, palace in search of truth and ultimately attained the truth true knowledge at Buddha Gaya. He then began to be called Buddha or the Enlightened One. He delivered his first sermon at Sarnath near Varanasi. This event is knowledge, dharma, chakra, uh, pravartra, turning off the wheel of law. He also established his Sambhagaya. Here he died at the age of 80 in 486 BC at Kushanira or Kushinagar near Gorakhpur in eastern UP. Buddhist Buddha asked his follower to avoid too extreme of indulgence in worldly pleasure and the practice of strict abstinence and asceticism. This philosophy of Madhyama Marga or the middle path is reflected in all the issues related to Buddhism. The main teaching of Buddhism are encapsulated in the basic concept of four novels truth or Satya and eightfold path of or Astangika Marga. The first novel truth Buddha and second novel truth is Dukha. Sumukha is every suffering has a cause. Third novel truth is Dukha Nirodha. Suffering could be extinguished. And fourth Dukha his fourth Dukha uh, Nirodha Gamini Pratibadha. There is a path leading to the extension of Dukha. He said that everything in this world, like birth, old age, and death, leads to suffering. If one wants to get rid of suffering, one has to conquer and the desire. This removal of desire can be achieved through eightfold path. These are right faith, right resolve, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, right thought, right self concentration. Buddha used Pali language spoken by masses to propagate his teaching. Buddha allowed lower Burmas and women to join the Sangha. Four Buddhist council organized over different period played a significant role in a propagate of Buddhism. In the fourth council during the reign of Kanishka, Buddhism split into two major sects called Hinayana and Mahayana. Mahayana adopted Sanskrit as its language and started worshipping Buddhism in the form of an idol, while Hinayana continued followed Pali and treated Buddha as a guide. Buddhism became weak by 7th century AD, but the impact of Buddhism can be seen in all sphere life in Indian history. Buddhism scholars created many literary texts like Trivitika, Milinda Pangoho, Buddha Charita, etc. Buddhism became an inspiration for the promotion of an art and architecture in the form of stupas, rock cut caps, and painting. These can be noticed at Sangchi, Bharut, Amravati, Ajanta, etc. Buddhism inspired Gandhara and Mathura schools of art. Buddhism, by opening its door to all classes, challenged the superiority of Brahmanism and gave better social position to lower caste. The 16 Mahajanpaths. The 6th century BC was not only a period of socio-economic and religion developed, but it also witnessed new political development in later Vedic period. As we have seen earlier, people had started agriculture, which made them settle down at a particular place. These permanent settlement lead to foundation of Janpads or traditional states under the control of the king. In the 6th century BC, the main area of political activity gradually shifted from western UP to eastern UP and Bihar. The region was not only fertile on account of better rainfall and river system, but was also closer to I- production center. The use of better iron tools and weapons enabled some territorial state to become very large and very came to be called Mahajanpads. Most of them were situated north of Vindhyasa between Bihar in the east of to the northwest frontier of the subcontinent. The list of these 16 Mahajanpads is given below. Most of these states were monarchical in nature, but some of them called Ganakshanganga had an oligarchical system of governance. In the system, unlike monarchy were hereditary kings rules. Administration was run by elected king with the help of large council or assembled compromising heads of all important clans and families. This system was certainly more democratic than monarchy, through the common man had no participation in the administration. The most important of these uh, states was that of Vajis, with their capital at Vaishali, which was ruled by the Lichavis. These oligarchies mainly existed in the foothills of the Himalayas. They were gradually defeated and conquered by Magadha Empire. The rise of Magd, the political fifth among these Mahajanpads, led ultimately to one of them, namely Magd, to emerge as the most powerful state and the center of vast empire. The earliest important rules of Magd was least king uh, Bhim, Bhishara, who ruled for 52 years, for 544 BC to 492 BC. He pursued three progressed policy, namely matrimonial alliances, friendship with strong rules, and conquest of weak neighborhood to expand empire. Under the polity of matrimonial alliances. He married the sister of Prasenjit, the king of Koshala. She bought in dowry the territory of Kashi, which yielded a revenue of 1 lakh coins. The control over Kashi and friendship with Prasenjit allowed Magd to concentrate on other area. His other wives were daughters of the chief of Lichavi and Madra, Middle Punjab, respectively. He also conquered Aga by defeating its ruler Brahmadatta. Anga and especially its capital Chamba were important for the inland and maritime trade. Thus, Kashi and conquest of Anga become the launching pad for the expansion of Magd. He was a contemporary of both Buddha and Mahavira and paid equal respect to them. It seems them that he was either killed or forced to commit suicide by his son Ajatasattu, who was eager to take over the throne himself. Ajatasattu was an aggressive person and first came into conflict with the material under Prasenjit, who was arrived by treatment to made it out of Bhimshara, uh, Bhimshara. He asked Ajanta to return the territory of Kashi, which was given to his mother in dowry. His dowry. His correct mother is dowry. Mm. Ajanta to return the territory of Kasi, which was Madaris Johari with Magd. Similarly, he fought with his material grandfather Trek, the chief of Vaishali, and after 16 long years of war, Ajantastra succeeded in breaking the might of Vaishali. Therefore, he not only retained Kashi but also added Vaishali to Magd. Um, Ajantastra was succeeded by Uday and his main contribution was building a fort on the confluence of River Ganga and River Sun at Patliputra or Patna. It was strategically a significant step as his site was not only centrally located but also allowed easy movement of merchant and soldiers. Uday was succeeded by dynasty of Shishaganga. The most important achievement of Shishuganga was to defeat Avanti Malwa and make it part of Magda. The successor of Sisanga was his son uh, Kala Shoka. It was during his rule the second Buddhist council was held. The Shushanga dynasty was succeeded by the king of the Nanda dynasty. Mahapanda Nanda was the most important ruler according to the Brahmical test. He belonged to low caste or at least non castier caste. He posed a large army and added Kali Ganga to his empire. The last Nanda king was uh, Dhananad. He is believed to be an arrogant and oppressive ruler who imposed heavy taxes on the common man. It made them quite unpopular among the masses, and ultimately, Chandragupta took advantage of this uh, public resentment and approached the Nalanda rule and shut up the Maurya Empire. The question is how Magd could establish gradually its dominance over all other states of the period. Magd certainly benefited from numerous able and ambitious rulers, but its strength was based uh, primarily on certain geographically factor. Its earlier capital Giriviraj or Rajagir was surrounded by five hills, which helped it to provide natural fortification. Uh, s- Fortification. Secondly, its fertile river plain provided a vast amount of agriculture surplus, which was essential for raising a vast standing army. Forest in southern area gave its timber and near South Bihar such access to iron made Magadhan weapon for superior and agriculture tools more productive. It was the material backward which helped Magd to become more powerful than other Mahajanpads. Rise of the Maurya Empire. Maurya sources. The establishment of Maurya dynasty by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BC marks a turning point to in the history of early India. For the first time now, we have at our disposal a number of sources which throw better light on the history of this period. The edicts issued by Ashoka are the most important source of the information, and there are at least 44 such edicts which have been found inscribed on rock and pillars. These are composed mostly in Prakriti language and are written in Brahmi script in the most of the area. These inscriptions are also the first evidence of writing in ancient India. As far as archaeological sources are concerned, Punch marked coins remains of the palace of the Ashoka at Kamharar, and several pieces of sculptures are important. The most important literary source of the most important literary source are Arista of Kautilya and Indica of Megasthenes. Arista, uh, Aris, Arista is the test of statecraft which gives advice to kings as to to rule how to rule his land and Um, discharge his duties. Indica is an account left by Greek ambassador to rule his land and discharge his duties. India is an account left by a Greek ambassador Megasthenes sent by Seleucus to the court of Chandragupta Maurya to cyclonic Buddhist text called Deepvamsha and Mahavamsha, also, and a play called Mudraksha, written by uh, Vishakha Datta, and other valuable source book. Maurya dynasty. The founder of the Maurya dynasty, Chandragupta Maurya, 321 to 297 BC, inherited a large army of the Naldas, which he used to conquer almost whole of the north of the northwest and a large part of peninsular India. His son Bindusar, 297 to 269 BC, succeeded him. He promoted trade and cultural interaction, which Greek but not much it known about the Ashoka, 269 to 232 BC, succeeded his father Bindusar. According to Buddhist traditional, he came to throne after killing his 99 brothers, but such stories can't be trusted without confirmation from other sources. Ashoka fought a major war with Kaliganga about 261 BC, in which large number of people were killed or imprisoned. Perhaps has bloodshed moved his heart, and he decided to abandon the policy of military expansion, and declared that he would in the further favor Dhamu, Dhamugrahasha, Dharma of Dharma, then Beri Gasha Vardharm. He spent the rest of life in promoting and spreading the policy of uh, Dhamma. However, his successor could not keep the empire integrated, and it's completely disappeared after the last king, uh, Brihadratha, was assigned by the military chief uh, Pushumitra Shanga around 187 BC. Ashoka and Ashoka and uh, his dharma, his dhamma. Ashoka is considered as one of the greatest king of in Indian history. He praised not so much for his military activity as for the policy of Dhamma. According to some of the scholars, Ashoka was a follower of Buddhism, and through Dhamma he tried to propagate the principle of Buddhism, but it does not seem to be true. Dhamma had nothing to do with the propagation of Buddhism. It was a code of conduct or ideal social behavior common to all religions of the world, which he uh, sub, uh, appealed to subjects to follow. Although Ashoka himself believed in Buddhism, he never discriminated against other faiths or religions. A closer look at at Ashokan edicts illustrate that basic attribute of Dhamma included compassion, daya, charitya, dana, truthfulness, purity, and gentleness. Pillar edict third, ask subject to control violence, cruelty, anger, and envy. Rock edict first call for a ban on animals, sacrifices, and social gathering like Samaj. The Rock edict second declares a measure to be taken for the construction of a hospital, roads, in wells, and planting of shade giving trees. Third, fourth, and 12th Rock edicts ask people to respect of shade giving trees, parents, relatives, Brahmins, and Shramanans monk. He also appointed a special type of official called Dhamma Mahamantras. The main function was to oversee type of official called Dhamma Mahamantra. Their main function was to oversee and supervise the peaceful function of the principle of Dhamma. 12th Rock Edict is especially important since it says the king Pyadisi, the beloved of the respected all sects, whether Essex or household, and he honors them with gift and honors of various kinds. Let an allied sect also be respected on every occasion. It shows clearly that neither Dhamma was Buddhism nor Ashoka was trying to convert people to Buddhism. However, the question is, why did he give so much attention to the policy? Historians believe that by the latter of half of Ashoka rule, expansion of the empire was almost complete. It was the empire having different culture, social, and religion groups. In order to save the empire from the political tension arising out of these differences, there were two ways. He could either increase the size armed forces to seek a military solution to these conflicts, which might have needed increased taxes and in turn could lead to more resistance. Another alternative was peaceful resolution of various conflict by cementing and building of divergent group. Ashoka chose the second alternative in order to promote harmony and peace in his kingdom. Ashoka thus an important has an important place in the Indian polity, history, because he was the first king to initiate politics of peace rather than of war and aggressive decline of the
Mauryas. Mauryas built in a huge army, a vast bureaucracy, and ruled over a large part of the Indian subcontinent. But soon after the death of the Ashoka, the empire got divided into two parts. While King Dasharatha controlled the eastern part of the empire, the western part under uh, Samprati. Why did such a large empire decline so early? Some historians believe that Asoka, under the influence of Buddhism, become a pacifist and weakened in his army. It also said the religion policy of Ashoka uh, antagonized the Brahmanas as he banned the animal sacrifice, which affected the economic and religion activity of the Brahmanas. Therefore, Pushymitra, the Brahma, a chief of uh, study of the army, killed the last Maurya king. But this doesn't seem to correct, as the study of Ashokan inscriptions reveals that Ashoka paid full respect to Brahmins. Moreover, it is true that Ashoka followed a policy of peace and harmony, but he didn't disband his army and was always prepared to face any eventuality. One of the main reasons for decline could be the succession of the weak ruler who could not keep under check those ministers and officials of the far-flung regions who had become oppressive and acted against the interest of the center. It is also possible that Maurya rule may be suffered some kind of economic crisis. It is reflected in the disbasement of some coins of that period. This crisis might have developed either due to massive donation and charity or overspending on the imperial administration system. In fact, the reason of the decline was inherent in the structure of the vast centralized empire itself. The structure of the Ashoka could not maintain the balance between the center and the various provincial governance of the empire, and at the first possible opportunity, they made an effort to separate themselves from the center. However, Maurya Empire an effort to separate themselves from an center. However, Maurya Empire through declined had a positive effect of spreading agriculture and iron technology in the different parts of the subcontinent. It facilitated the rise of several regions kingdom in the post Maurya period. India under the Maurya administration. The Maurya established an elaborate system of administration uh, king in which king period in which king played the chief role. He was assisted by a council of minis- ministers, but the king but the king himself uh, took all final decision regarding revenue, law and order, war or any other matter related to administration. He was expected to exile and accessible to his official at all times. In one of his rock edict, Ashoka declared that even common people could meet him anytime. He also declared that all his subjects were like his children, and his desired that happens in the and this and the other world. The kind appointed the kind appointed a council of ministers called Mantri Parishad. There were various other officials who helped who helped this perform his duties. These officials were known as uh, Amrit Amrityas, uh, Mahamantras, and Adha, Adhyashikas. Gives a list of 27 Adhyakash of superintendent who were responsible for running various economic departments like agriculture, mining, weaving, trade, etc. Among all the executive official, Samharta was the most important. His responsibility was to supervise collection of taxes from all type of sources. Most of the superintendents men mentioned above function on his order. The Maurya also employed a large number of spies. The Maurya maintained a huge army, and according to Greek writer Justin Chandragupta, had 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 900 elephants, 800 chariots. Although it seems to be an exaggerated figure, but position of Allah's army by the Maurya can't be doubted. Megasthenes reports that administration of different branches of army was carried out through six committees of 5 members each. An official called Antapala was responsible for the security of Frontier Fort. As far as judicial administration is concerned, the king was the supreme authority, but various civil as well as criminal court functioned at the local level, right from village to province. It seems most of the cases were disposal of at the village level by village elders. Apart from Magd, with its capital at Patliputra, the Maurya Empire was divided into four other provinces with capital at Takshila, northwest India, uh, Suvan, Suvarnagiri, southern India, Toshali, eastern India, and Ujjain, western India. These were put under the control of royal princes called Kumara. The city of administration of Patliputra, according to Megasthenes, was conducted by six committee of 5 members each. Each community was assigned by different subject such as industry, foreigners' birth and death, registration, trade and uh, market regulation, and tax collection to took after. However, we are not sure whether the entire Indian subcontinent and similar type of city administration. It seems that while central province of Magध was under strict supervision of the king, other far-flung area might have witnessed a varied degree of administration control. Economy, social, society, and art. The Maurya, as mentioned above, maintained a huge standing army and employed a large number of state officials. These soldiers are and officials were paid in cash, as the normal taxes were not considered sufficient to meet all the needs of the great state, and hence the state undertook the regulated numerous economic activity to generate more and more resources. The mainstay of economy in this period was agriculture. This Maurya state founded new agriculture settlements to bring virgin land under cultivation. People from over populated area and prisoner of war were were brought to these new settlements to work on the related area, and prisoners of war were brought to these new settlements to work on the fields. These villages belonged to the kind and were looked after the government official called Sitaksha, or superintendent of agriculture. Beside state farms, these were individual realized and peasant had to pay more tax or irrigated land. The barley or land tax was the main item of revenue, levied at the rate of one sixth of the produce. A pay peasant had to peasant had to pay many other taxes like pindha pindakra, hirayan, baga, boga, uh, etc., the exact nature of which is not clear. Principal crops were various variety of rice, barley, millet, wheat, sugarcane, and most of the pulses, peas, and oil seeds which we know today. Trade and uh, trade trade and urban economy received great impetus under the Maurya and influenced almost all part of the empire. The main center of the textile manufacturing were Varanasi, Mathura, Bengal, Gandhara, and Ujjain. Mining and Mitugari was another important economic activity. Trade was conducted through land and river routes. Patliputra was also conducted through various trade routes with all parts of the subcontinent. The main center of trade in the northwest was Taxila, which was further connected with Central Asia market, uh, Tamra, Tamralipati, Tumuluk in West Bengal in the east, and Broch in the west were important support. Craft activity were also a major source of revenue to the state. Artisan living towns had to pay taxes either in cash or kind of work free for the king. Traders and artisans were organized in association called srinis or guides. Uh, The Maurya were responsible for introduction of iron on a large scale in different parts of subcontinent. They maintained a monopoly over production of iron, which was a great demand demanded by the army, industry, and agriculture. It was done through the official called Loha Adhyaksha. As far as the society concerned, despite the challenges posed by Buddhism and Jainism, the Varna system continued to exist, and Brahmanas uh, and Kshatriya dominated by the social hierarchy. However, as a result, a greater trade and uh, and Kshatriyas dominated the social improvement in the social status of Vaishyas or trading community and Sudras. Now, Sudras could be involved in the agriculture and artisans activity. The period of Shah increase in the number of untouchables. The Mauryas period provides the earliest example of ancient India art and architecture. Megasthenes has described the grandeur of the Maurya uh, palace at Patliputra. Some remains of this place have been found at Kumrahar near Patna, Ashokan pillars at Rampura, Luria, Nandangar, and Sharnath present excellent example of some of stone sculptures which developed in this period. Our national emblem comes from the Ashokan pillars at Sharnath near Binars. All these pillars are circular and monolithic and or are made of sandstone and found at Chunar near Mirzapur in UP. We also find some rock cut architecture like Lomsha Rishi Cave in Barabara Hills near Gaya belong to the Maurya period. Among several stone and terracotta sculptures of this period, polished stone sculptures of a chori bearing female known as Dhira the Didarganj Yakshini is most famous. Uh, what you have learned, the use of tools the use of tools and cattle power in the fertile middle uh, Ganga plain lead to the increased agricultural productivity and the food supply in the 6th century BC. This development of agriculture resulted in growth of towns, trade, and money economy. This that is why the 6th century BC is also known as period of second urbanization. In this period, some of non-Vedic religion like
Buddhism and Jainism responsible uh, to the new social realities and argued for a ban on cattle sacrifice money leading an urban lifestyle. They advocated better social status for trading a community who is an turn uh, patronize these new religion. The main teaching of Jainism are Tritaranta and Panch Panchamvarta, while Gautam Buddha asked people to follow four noble truths and eightfold path. The Janpads of earlier times consolidated in this period and resulted in the rise of 16 Mahajanpads. Some Janpads followed the non-monarchical system of governance. Ultimately, the utilization of favorable geographical Maurya uprooted the Nanda dynasty and established their rule. They maintained a highly centralized bureaucracy along with a vast army and administrated a large part of the Indian subcontinent. One of the greatest Indian rulers, Ashoka, adopted the policy of Dhamma, which was aimed at consolidation of empire and resolving internal conflict through peaceful means. After the death of Ashoka, the Maurya Empire declined due to inefficiency of latter rulers and unstable relationship between core and peripheral of the empire.